Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ayat number 19 in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah says, وَكَذَلِكَ بَعَثْنَاهُمْ لِيَتَسَاءَلُوا بَيْنَهُمْ قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ كَمْ لَبِثْتُمْ قَالُوا لَبِثْنَا يَوْمًا أَوْ بَعْضَ يَوْمٍ قالوا ربكم أعلم بما لبثتم فابعثوا أحدكم بورقكم هذه إلى المدينة فلينظر أيها أزكى طعاما فليأتكم برزق منهم وليتلطف ولا يشعرن بكم أحدا. And similarly, we awaken them that they may question one another. Said a speaker from amongst them, how long have you remained here? They said, we have remained a day or part of a day. They said, your Lord is more knowing of how long you have remained. So send one of you with this silver coin of yours to this city and let him look to which is the best type of food and bring you provision from it. And let him be cautious and let no one be aware of you. So this is they have the fitya, the shabab, they have fled their people, they've turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they've been guided to go to the cave, they've gone to the cave, and they've been made to sleep for 300 years odd, and they've been woken up, and now this is 300 years odd later, they're awake. What happens next? وَكَذَلِكَ بَعَثْنَاهُمْ لِيَتَسَاءَلُوا بَيْنَهُم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala awaken them, and when Allah awakened them, they asked one another, and seeing that the sun, for example, was still up, or that they'd entered the cave, for example, in the evening, come back in its daytime, they said that we have stayed a day or part of a day. So the concept of how long the 300 years, when you're asleep, as you know, sometimes you could be asleep for hours and it seems like you've been asleep for minutes. Sometimes you could be asleep for minutes. It seems like you've been asleep for hours. If you're in a coma, the concept of time disappears. It's not days or hours or months or even years. It's just sleep. So when they woke up, they didn't expect that they'd been asleep for 300 years. They said, how long have you, they asked one another, how long have you been asleep? قَالُوا لَبِثْنَا يَوْمًا أَوْ بَعْضَ يَوْمٍ. We have slept for a day or part of a day, because we entered in the daytime and now in the evening, there's now it's daytime, we entered in the morning and now you can see the sun is just about to set, for example. Right? However, when they noticed that their hair was long and their nails are long, قَالُوا رَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا لَبِثْتُمْ. Allah knows how long you've been here. Right? i.e. looking at, taking into account your state, your physical state. Now it looks like it's been longer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that it's longer. So then they said, send people to the city, إلى المدينة, to the city, فلينظر أيها أزكى طعاما, i.e. what you're going to get the most for this money that you've got, right? Because zakat, it means ziyada, increase. When you say zakat, you know, the root meaning of zakat, one of the root meanings of zakat is purification, pure, which is, like you said, tazkiyatun nafs. So here, which is the best type of food, meaning the most halal. And also from the meanings of zakat is increase, ziyada, which is why when you give zakat, your money increases. So ayyuha azka ta'aman, which is best type of food, or which is the most type of food you're going to be able to get with this money. بِوَرَقِكُمْ, this piece of silver. Waraqa, this is piece of silver. وَلَا يُشْعِرَنَّ بِكُمْ أَحَدًا, and let no one be aware of you. In case they're going to call, they're still thinking that perhaps the people are the people of old upon shirk, so you have to make sure nobody sees them. And ayat number 20, إنهم إن يظهروا عليكم يرجموكم أو يعيدوكم في ملتهم ولن تفلحوا إذن أبدا. Indeed, if they come to know of you, meaning the people, when you go back to the Medina, then they will stone you or return you to your religion, and never would you succeed ever. Return you to the religion that they were upon, of worshipping awthan, worshipping idols and statues.
So again, this is speaking about وَلَا يُشْعِرَنَّ بِكُمْ أَحَدًا. Let no one be aware of you, because if they see you, they're thinking what was happening before. They're going to يَرْجُمُوكُمْ, i.e. they're going to harm you. Either harm you with speech, or they're going to harm you by stoning you physically and killing you, because this was the custom or the norms, is to the most humiliating, disgracing type of punishment is to be stoned to death, and then you would never succeed. And then ayat number 21, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَذَلِكَ أَعْثَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ لِيَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ وَأَنَّ السَّاعَةَ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا إِذْ يَتَنَازَعُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ أَمْرَهُمْ فقالوا ابنوا عليهم بنيانا ربهم أعلم بهم قال الذين غلبوا على أمرهم لنتخذن عليهم مسجدا. And similarly, we caused them to be found, and that they who found them would know that the promise of Allah is true, and that the hour there is no doubt of it. And that's when they disputed amongst themselves about their affair, and then they said, construct over them a structure. Their Lord is most knowing about them. Those who prevailed in the matter, they said, we will surely take for ourselves over them a masjid. So now they've gone back to the Medina, and they've been spotted, they've been noticed, and the haqq, or the truth, has been established, i.e. of resurrection, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to do all things. And here the word ilm is mentioned a lot. وَكَذَلِكَ أَعْثَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ لِيَعْلَمُوا, so they may know, the people, the qawm, their people. So the scholars of tafsir, they mentioned that when they went back and the people saw them, they realized and they found out who they were. But at that time, obviously it's 300 years later, the king is a new king. This is a king that was upon Tawheed and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The scholars of tafsir mentioned. So this is why I said, أَنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ, that the truth, that the promise of Allah is true. وَأَنَّ السَّاعَةَ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا, and the hour is sure to come, no doubt about it. And then they differed amongst themselves. So the scholars have said, they mentioned, once that was the ayat was established, the wonders of the ayat of Allah, the people of the cave, they died and they passed away. And then their people disputed what to do. Should we build over them a structure or not? So also as well, what did they dispute about? إِذْ يَتَنَازَعُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ أَمْرَهُم. The scholars have said they differ what this means, because the people, they used to deny that the resurrection is a bodily resurrection. They say the resurrection is just the souls are going to be resurrected and the body is not going to come back to life. Allah is not going to recreate the body. But we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that the first creation, to resurrection is not harder than the creation in the first instance. Creation was from nothing. Resurrection is from something. And again, this is something which is known, and for Allah has the highest example. If you're going to make something from nothing, meaning you're going to innovate something, a product of some sort, is harder than actually taking a product which is already there, opening up, looking at it, and recreating or remaking it from a design that you already have the schematics of and the model. So they differed with regards to resurrection. Is it bodily and spiritual and soul, or is it just the soul? And here, the people said that some people said that it's just the soul without the body. And then when they saw them, they said, okay, this is the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to resurrect their bodies and the souls as well. And this was from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they constructed over them. And those that won the argument, they said, قَالَ الَّذِينَ غَلَبُوا عَلَىٰ أَمْرِهِمْ لَنَتَّخِذَنَّ عَلَيْهِمْ مَسْجِدًا. We're going to take for ourselves over them a masjid. And then they begin to discuss that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the knowledge of Allah is all-encompassing, and that mankind's knowledge is deficient because it's based upon conjecture. It's not based upon knowing the reality of something. And that's going to be the next ayah number 22.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.